that there is a common sense that we are sometimes misled and not given all the facts. And we couldn't get a spokesman to come on here today. I'm so glad that you're here, Michelle, because we have pages and pages of notes and calls of being told no, no comment.
May I respond quickly? Number one, this has been reported in the United Kingdom and in other allied nations. There are, in fact, cases on the record, number one. And number two, as we talk about...
compared to what?
As we talk about...
You always have to ask...
Statistical
one moment here.
As we talk about... One child is sick, it's a birth defect, it needs to be dealt with.
I agree with that.
My son came up to me 2 weeks ago, he had his eye in his hand, he came home from school, he put it on the table, he asked me for one of my eyes. Kennedy, the little girl you saw with the tumors all over her face, you can compare, governments and scientists can do statistics for years, just like they do with Agent Orange and they've done since World War II. It doesn't help these families out now, and it doesn't help these children.
And my point is that
we deserve answers. I've got to go to a break and tell you that up next we're going to meet this Gulf War vet and his wife. They have 3 children. The youngest, Christian, was born with a defective heart after his father served in the Gulf War. Now, they claim they were supposed to be warned not to have any more children when he returned. We'll talk about that. Is it another case of Gulf War syndrome? Right after this. Syndrome? Is it making the vets sick, their wives, and is it causing birth defects among their children? The debate carries on our stage and in our audience. I want to give some people a chance to get in. Yes, ma'am.
Yes, Michelle, you need to really research and date someone that's been over in the Gulf War and conceive a child and see if your child comes out the way these people's children came out.
Michelle, the word AIDS is derived from 3 other words: acquired immunity deficiency. You said you didn't come here to talk about AIDS. The Gulf syndrome is AIDS.
I'd like to address that, if I may, because this is very important, and we didn't have the chance to talk about this. The reason this is a danger to the public health in general is because we don't know what we're dealing with. We do know that quite possibly biological warfare agents were used in the Gulf War. We do know that genetically engineered vaccines were used on these human guinea pigs as you see them right here, these soldiers.
Patricia, the question out here, yours was about the vaccines. What was that?
It was basically to Steve. You mentioned that there were 6 shots given to you prior to going to war. Why didn't the veterans or the military or you guys question what you were being given? And was there, military doctors that explained to you the, problems that could come out of...
What happened is we received the inoculations and the tablets. I asked about the tablets, and I was told it was like a secret weapon thing. The Army had to protect us against chemical agents. But when you're in this situation, you have to think about going to war. You have a high anxiety level, and you think that if you're giving something, it's been tried, tested. I mean, it's like going to your family doctor. Last year, I testified at the Senate, and the General Accounting Office did a study, and they found 21 other reproductive agents that were present. So, I mean, we really felt that, this was in our best interest, but we weren't told all the information. I mean, a lot of people were told if you don't take the shots, you go to jail. So we had no choice.
Okay.
Oh,
yes. They were ordered. I'd like to get, were you forced, they're saying, to take them? Yes.
Yes.
I'd like to get this in quickly before break.
Okay. This is particularly for Michelle and also for everybody. This war syndromes, it didn't start from the Persian Gulf War. It dates back as early as 1914 in the First World War when Germany used phosgene and mustard gas. Then it went back to Second World War, to Korean War, to Vietnam War, and to the Gulf War. To every war you may read about, you will hear all those syndromes and those deformities.
Let me make one more point here about, we're talking about the vaccines, the pills. Brad took those pills over in the war. You came home. You feel like it's affected your wife and your baby, this adorable little child who was also born with problems, you feel because of Gulf War syndrome. We'll meet them and talk about, continue the debate with the audience and our panelists after break.